Hi there, my name is Deepak Tomar and welcome to Distributor Speaks. Here I am back again with a very interesting story. In September 2023, Rolex sent shockwaves through the watch industry. It announced the acquisition of Bucherer. Now, what is Bucherer? Bucherer is actually one of the largest luxury watch retailers globally. They have 100 plus stores in Europe and some in the US as well. Bucherer has a very interesting story because this brand has been around for many decades, somewhere close to 100 years. Based out of Switzerland. This current CEO and chairman, George, he was battling with the idea of a succession because apparently he didn't have his next generation ready to take over the business, which is why he was looking for succession, and Rolex came to rescue. But Rolex did not come to rescue without any strategic reasons. We'll talk about a few things which are very unique about Rolex. One, Rolex is the most substantial luxury watch brand globally. Whichever standard you look at, Rolex is number one. Yes, there is Patek Philippe and Vacheron and Audemars Piguet and so many others, but Rolex does it at a very different scale. Number two, Rolex commands the highest premium across models in the pre-owned segment. So certified pre-owned segment is something of great interest to Rolex. Thus far, Rolex has not really benefited despite the fact that their watches command the highest premium. So for example, today I'm wearing a beautiful Rolex GMT Master 2. This watch has been discontinued and in the pre-owned market, the prices have gone through the roof. Now, for many of the Rolex sports models, the prices in the pre-owned market are fairly high. After the crypto boys stopped buying in the last couple of years, the prices have really cooled down in the pre-owned market, but still, you can sell some of these models at a premium to the current market price for the new watches, that is. Rolex definitely would have wanted to actually get a pie and the taste of the pre-owned frothy valuation for Rolex watches. After all, they are the ones who make these watches. Number three, Bucherer owns a certified pre-owned luxury or retailer brand called Daytonas. Is based out of the US. Now, if Rolex acquires Bucherer, what it gets is control over distribution as well. Bucherer stores are pretty massive, 3 levels, 4 levels. Most of the brands retail through Bucherer, and when it comes to pre-owned, you have Daytonas. With this proposed acquisition, Rolex gets control over distribution as well. The interesting bit is Bucherer actually sells a lot of Rolex watches. So when Bucherer comes under the Rolex fold, Rolex exercises a lot of control. The next point I want to make is Rolex so far has been primarily retailing with authorized dealers. And the people who have wanted to buy Rolex, they will realize, and I'm sure they have felt the pain of not being able to get their hands on the watches they wanted, right? Everybody wants a hand on the Panda Daytona. You won't get it. They make fewer Panda Daytona than everybody wants it. Everybody wants a Pepsi GMT Master 2, a Batman GMT Master 2, and so on and so forth. You won't get it unless you have a really deep pockets or a very deep relationship with the authorized dealers. Now, I don't think the brand is saying or telling the authorized dealers that please go ahead and make life difficult for these buyers. It's primarily a phenomena started by the authorized dealers. They know what is happening in the pre-owned market. They know, once this watch is out of their store, the price will go up for this watch. They hoard some of these watches, and if you were to be able to shell out a little more over the retail price, they'll probably give it to you. So definitely the watch brand wants to kind of take control of this situation, isn't it? And which is why gaining greater control over distribution will really help. The next point I want to make is, why has it sent shockwaves through the watch industry? I'll tell you. There's one listed player in the watch industry called Watches of Switzerland. On the day on which Rolex announced its acquisition of Bucherer, Watches of Switzerland's stock price tanked close to 27%. Why did this happen? Because of the simple fact that the Watches of Switzerland makes 60% of its revenue from selling Rolex watches. Now imagine when Rolex has its own distribution network, people expect that the business for Watches of Switzerland will be affected. Although in the past couple of months, the stock price has risen up back again, but market saw some challenges for another listed retailer for watches. Since this is an acquisition situation, we should look at the price Rolex could be paying to Bucherer. Well, if you look at Watches of Switzerland, and the multiple at which it trades currently is close to 1.3 times sales. As I shared with you, after the announcement of Bucherer acquisition, Watches of Switzerland prices took a major fall, but the prices have gone back up again, and currently the company is trading at 1.3 times sales. If I apply the same multiple, knowing that Bucherer does 2 billion Swiss francs of revenues, and I apply the same revenue multiple that Watches of Switzerland trades at, 1.3 times that is, the valuation comes close to 2.6 billion Swiss francs. And I suppose Rolex could be paying somewhat less than that because Bucherer wants to sell it, they have a need to sell. But at the same time, there is a strategic rationale for Rolex as well. And we've already discussed some of it. But the sharpness of Rolex management is such that they see value where others may not be seeing. The thing is, Rolex produces a lot of high-end watches as well. These watches you don't even get to see. Many Daytonas and many other gem set watches that do not come to the fore ever. Who gets their hands on these watches? Well, very wealthy people. And by the way, these watches are never shown to the regular set of people. Honestly speaking, even I have not seen some of these watches in person. I would love to get my hands on the Rainbow Daytona, but look, it is somewhere $300,000-400,000 in pricing, maybe $500,000. The question remains, who gets these watches? People like Hardik Pandya, people like all the big celebrities, Hollywood celebrities, sports stars, etc., etc. And when Rolex controls more of distribution through Bucherer stores, they will probably have these, some of these stores showcasing these watches to very wealthy and distinguished clients. So there are many strategic rationales, which is why Rolex is going for the Bucherer acquisition. And it's a very exciting phase in the world of luxury because, many of these companies who have been supremely successful, and I've covered these stories, like for example, the Moncler story, Louis Vuitton group story, LVMH group story, that is. Many of these successful companies want to become groups because look, they have cash on hand, right? And how do they make sure that they become bigger players in the world of luxury? By acquiring other successful brands. Either those could be brands or retailers or distributors. That's what exactly Rolex is looking to do. Just to summarize, they get a piece of the pre-owned market because they will control supply and they will control the certified pre-owned supply as well. They take control of Tonu. They take control of distribution of 100 stores of Bucherer through which a lot of Rolex is sold, and they continue to set the narrative through their supply and distribution. So Rolex is going to get even bigger. Okay, so if you are someone who wants to buy Rolex watches, keep a tab on the prices because the prices will continue to rise up. This was Deepak Tomar talking about Rolex's acquisition of Bucherer. You tell me how you liked it, and I will continue to bring more stories. The next one is even more exciting because I'm going to look at some of the luxury brands, distributors, brands, and who could be looking to buy those brands. Is that someone from India? You'll figure out. Tell me how you liked it. Share it with someone you know. Thank you.